We have an encapsulated attic. And as you can see, insulation is only as good as the quality of execution. So this is the roof sheathing right there. That should have been filled. All of these cavities should have been filled, completely filled, and then shaved. So you get a full R value of the insulation. Now this is a 2x6 wall. However, you can see it's not very consistent, the insulation. And there's tons and tons of little gaps throughout it. You can see, if I can see sheathing and rafters, when you spray foam a home, that's a problem. So the homeowner spray foamed, excuse me, obviously paid good money for a company to come in and foam this house, and they did a fairly poor job. It's not the worst I've ever seen, definitely not the best. So this is foamed to this joist. This should have been wrapped up, and then have continuity with that up above. So notice this is a 2x6, I'm sorry, and it's about an inch deep, an inch thick. I don't know if you could see that right here. It's a complete hole to the sheathing, to the wall, to the exterior wall. Same here. So very, very, very inconsistent. Spray foam between all your roof rafters. See, they did a little bit better job here. They filled it and then shaved it to get a full consistency. This is a 2x4 wall. However, once again, very, very inconsistent. And once again, lots and lots of big cavities. Lots and lots of cavities. Missing insulation. So, good attempt, but I would fail them. Looks like incompetency, maybe unskilled labor. Like I said, it's not the worst job I've ever seen. Definitely not the best. So I think we're in, I don't know if this is a attic space, because we have, that's the chimney for the flue pipe for the range hood. This is a makeup air, possibly running up and out the roof, which none of the seams on the range hood are sealed. Well, I say none, the elbows are not sealed. Every one of these seams are not sealed airtight. They need to be sealed with a mastic or a tape. The tape's fairly ineffective because you have so many contours and curves. Same thing here, you have one big seam right there that's definitely going to be leaking air. And there's a power damper and a power damper, and those go through the roof. And I don't know if you could see that, but there is no insulation. I can clearly see roof sheathing. I don't know if they're going to come back and insulate that or not. So, ductwork, sort of your typical spaghetti explosion. None of the boxes are sealed airtight. So this is above that porch in the backyard. So continuity, that spray foam should go all the way to this top plate back here. That's my wall plate that goes down. So this needed to come all the way to this edge, and it obviously does not. And like I said, this is all open cell spray foam. This is not a vapor barrier. It is permeable. Water vapor will go through it. So like I said, if there's no vapor barrier under this porch roof from the bottom, you will get a tremendous amount of vapor drive through here. So like I said, just your typical attempt with tape here, but once again, no sealing attempts on the joints themselves. It's fairly tight to get in there. I'm not going to crawl back in there. So with an encapsulated attic, I want to see, so we're stepping into, I'm assuming, the mechanical space. You see we have a duct broken loose already. This is still in new construction. So if it's breaking loose on new construction, what's going to happen once the house is occupied? So once again, spray foam should have had continuity with this. If this is indeed the attic like I'm thinking, this spray foam should have completely encapsulated each one of the roof rafters, each one of these wall rafters. That's a 2x6 wall, but on a hot summer day, you're going to get thermal bridging through these. So you're going to get heat transfer coming through these rafters. This should have been capped, completely capped off. We have, this is all of our bathroom vents. As you can see, the spaghetti explosion, once again, very, very poorly installed. This probably will not work very well. They just ran it however they could possibly get it kinked off. Remote motors, which is a good thing. Just sloppy install. We have supply air pinched, kinked off, pinched with strapping. Code actually says you can't have more than a 1 inch sag per 4 foot. So we definitely are not compliant with code here. We have a remote filter at the air handler, which is good as long as it's designed for it. Return air is not sealed properly, so it will be sucking attic air into the system. We have a ventilating dehumidifier crammed in a hole back there that you cannot get to. The emergency overflow from the dehumidifier is capped off. It does not go outside. The main drain line on the AC unit does not really have any pitch to talk about. It actually looks like it has up pitch to it. I don't know about you guys, but I think water does flow downhill, so this should have been pitched a little bit more, and I bridge mine with a piece of wood, so if my customer comes up here and accidentally hits it, it doesn't break it off of my unit. And they can do that. I don't recommend it, as long as it's a 90% sealed combustion unit. So this pipe goes up through the roof, and once again, there's no spray foam up around that pipe, a little bit there, but I can see roof sheathing. None of these collars are sealed up, so we're gonna have bathroom hot, humid air coming into the attic. This down here, let me see if I can get it around. This is just tape. I can stick my finger through that. That should have been properly capped off with a sheet metal duct cap. There's a cap that's made to go over that. So I see no provisions for not ventilating, but dehumidifying or conditioning the attic with the system or the dehumidifier. And given what I see, there's going to be a tremendous latent load on this house. So if I had to take a educated guess at it, this attic will grow microbial growth. The humidity will stack in this attic fairly quickly, and this ductwork will start to condensate immediately. unfortunately. We have a very, very nicely built house. It's a beautiful home, beautiful subdivision. This house probably would sell for close to $1 million. And here we have cheap, unskilled, very poorly installed mechanicals. This is unacceptable in my opinion. This dictates the health of the home, the durability of the home, the efficiency of the home, and it is allocated the least amount on the budget, as you can tell. Typically, new construction, cheapest bidder does get the job, and this is what you get. So this house will have major issues, and if the owners of the home have any concern about it, it's going to cost them a tremendous amount of money to fix this. Where it could have been mitigated during construction, during new construction, allocate a little bit more of the budget to it. Yes, it does cost more money to do this properly. However, in my opinion, it's money well spent. It's much easier to reallocate some of your budget from floors or countertops to mechanicals. Mechanicals, an envelope, air sealing, all that sort of stuff is extremely difficult to repair after the house is drywalled and people are moved in and living in it. Floors and countertops could easily be upgraded at a later time. So guys, let's stop doing stupid stuff. Let's start building better houses. This is completely unacceptable in my opinion. There's no reason for it. Start holding your subcontractors to a higher standard. Start paying them a little bit more money. And let's get better products. Let's provide our customers, our homeowners, with the superior product that they expect and that they pay for. Like I said, this is not a cheap house. This is not a production-built house. This is a custom, quote-unquote, custom home builder on a North Shore. And as you can see, this is before drywall. There's no aesthetics in here. There's no floors, there's no paint, no countertops, no cabinets. And in this stage of construction, to someone that's educated and knows what they're looking at, is scary. Now, after this house is done, if we did this tour once again and just looked at the inside of the house, the finished product, it would be beautiful. There would be beautiful floors, beautiful countertops, beautiful cabinets, showers, bathrooms, you name it, it'll be beautiful. And unfortunately, that's all our builders are focusing on. And it's clear, every single house that I go into is the same exact scenario. It's pitiful, to say the least.